you can get arrested for buying millions of dollars worth of luxury goods. In Paris, a gang of Chinese buyers have been detained. The group led by the Chinese Mafia is suspected to have earned $5.6 million through elaborate schemes and money laundering. The phenomenon of Asians buying luxury goods in Europe is not new. In China, they are called daigou buyers. But what exactly is daigou? How has this practice turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry, and why are daigou buyers getting arrested? Our story begins almost 2 decades ago, when European luxury brands heavily invested into the Chinese market by placing advertisements everywhere and building stores in big shopping malls. However, Chinese buyers quickly realized that luxury goods were far cheaper when bought in Europe. The Mandarin term daigou translates to buy on behalf. It refers to the practice of purchasing sought-after products overseas and reselling them in China. And all of this is possible because the Chinese luxury demand booms. According to the BBC, there are more than 1 million daigou buyers globally. Daigou agents work through messaging apps like WeChat, sourcing sought-after products from overseas and selling them in China. They avoid taxes and domestic markups. They offer Chinese consumers luxury goods at a fraction of the price.
I love it.
As with everything, the surface always appears too good to be true. But there's dark forces behind the daigou movement, going from money laundering, tax evasion and ties to the Triad Mafia. Let's dive into the underworld of daigou buying. Daigou buyers offer the Mafia an incomparably efficient way to launder money by buying luxury items and reselling them. A recent French police investigation led into the arrest of a gang of Chinese buyers. The group, led by Chinese Mafia, is suspected to have earned $5.6 million through elaborate schemes and money laundering. The scheme works like this. Daigou buyers travel from China to Europe, let's say to France, where they will buy a lot of luxury goods tax-free. These goods are bought with illegal funds of the Mafia. Once the funds have been exchanged for luxury goods, they are essentially cleaned and untraceable by Chinese authorities. Since the cash now no longer exists but is in the form of luxury goods, these goods can get re-imported back to China. Here it's important to note that Europe offers an attractive VAT reclaim system. This will allow daigou buyers to reclaim up to 20% in import taxes. Now the item is essentially 20% cheaper than in China, not including the geo-pricing, which is another practice of luxury brands increasing prices in Asia, Middle East and the US compared to Europe. Arriving with the goods now in China, the Mafia has an easy game since the goods are competitively priced. Using the mechanisms, they are able to launder hundreds of millions of dollars yearly. This is especially interesting for them since there seems to be no loss when selling these items. Once sold, the funds are back as legitimate transactions in the Chinese financial system. An easy game for the Mafia. But also for daigou hobbyists or just people trying to make an extra buck, there's money to be made here. Here's an example using a Chanel bag. The classic medium-sized Chanel flat bag currently costs $11,000 in China. However, it sells for only $9,700 in France. As you can see, there's a good markup to be made. This is impressive, but it used to be way higher. Lately, China has halved some of the import taxes, prompting brands to lower their retail price in China. This has taken a lot of air out of the daigou demand, as did a legal change to cut the cost of online purchases. Now buyers in China can order goods from abroad without paying custom duties, just a relatively small parcel fee. Bigger daigous will need to pivot towards providing access to limited edition items such as special collaborations or sneakers. Meanwhile, all the illegal sellers and counterfeiters are evolving by moving to more private social messaging networks such as WhatsApp, WeChat or Instagram. So now that you know all the real dynamics in the luxury industry, are you still surprised about long waiting queues and sold out items? Share your experience in the comments below.